warrior with the hands. That's what I'm all about. Hunger in my eyes, vengeance in my mouth. They don't want no altercation. Situation gon' get critical. It's best that you be easy. The end gon' be biblical. Look, flow like a river. It's something like a miracle. Royalty in my veins, loyalty in my ways. Pay back in every breath, plus revenge in my heart. The truth in every word. Bring light into the dark, and I ain't never lukewarm. Shit, I blazing in the season. Got plenty food for thought, just gotta watch who I'm feeding. Now they walking with them angels, so I guess I got this pistol for no reason. Niggas barely breathing, criticizing all my achievements. Won't make me weak, nah, it won't make me slack off. These niggas baby fat soft, better bear witness or back off. I be ripping shit like sackcloth. Dumb dogs all barked out, behind me say I cup full. No room for emotion, so I pour my heart out. This road hard, but I intend to stay. And if it ain't UPK, then they in the way. My niggas righteous, they real, they down to suffer. Flow so deep, to drown a motherfucker. He say he in the truth, oh yeah? Well, this the home. And I don't hate them brothers, I'm just too loyal to my own. Plus what they believe, hard for me to follow. No rank me, no head, and I ain't leaving this body to live and sleep in hollow. So when they ask I'm UPK, you tell them absolutely. And I ain't trimming my ways for nothing, gotta execute me. Cause I can never die with my tail tucked between my legs. Shit I be thinking, watching my daughters tucked in their bed. They so smart, and Alana, she so beautiful, but they ain't like other babies, and they daddy far from usual. Now I'm missing cause I'm about my father's business. It ain't about this shit I used to do in that 98 Navy, the tan leather seats. See, without wisdom, this world make you weak. I found out that the truth was bitter, the lies are sweet. Tried everything, I guess me and Johanna had to meet. Now I make the blind see, and I make the dead speak. And teach both my little girls the day that they lie with a man, they better bring their bloody bed sheets. Chaos match the time, this Glock match my handpiece. And I ain't trying to take him out, but I will defend this house. Or take a check, 144 in that black trench on some hitman shit. Should call me 47. Praying for Armageddon, me and my soldiers dressed for the wedding. Fuck the fame, ask why, tell them I'm Lord to the king. Until the righteous reign, Lord to the king. I walk that straight lane to break the chain. Lord to the king, the devils can't have me, bitch. I'm Lord to the king. That's right. Bring that hot flame, you bitch. Hey, Lord to the king. Until the righteous reign, Lord to the king. I walk that straight lane to break the chain. Lord to the king. The devils can't have me, bitch. I'm Lord to the king. Bring that hot flame, you bitch. Hey, Lord to the king.
JT on the track.
Hey, yeah. Hey. Fuck wrong with you, boy? You know what time it is, nigga. Better watch how you step in. Yeah. But that was my niggas. Got my nigga Rawan with me. But that was my niggas, it'll be an honor. You know what I'm saying? Under commanding general, your honor. That for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Look, hey, straight off the top, I love all of my niggas. That shit ain't gon' stop till we on top and we ballin', my nigga. We be fly as fuck, you know them bitches be stalking my niggas. That shit'll never change and it's the same with all my niggas. City to city, I should be at home, that's what my ribs say. But bitch, I'm grown, I'm in these streets and closed caption. Niggas know we bout that action. If a nigga play with me, then my Hakim gon' let him have it. Hey, thank you the shit, this truth the shit. Nigga play, I let that Ruger hit. Get on them tracks, they be like, who is this? I'm rude with it, ain't got no manners. All them pussy niggas talking shit, y'all know they can't stand us, but we UPK Louisiana, bitch, that's what I'm rippin'. In solid number real ones in my section. If you wanna get down, put your boots on, start stepping. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood I lay my life down right now for all my sisters and brothers, because I love them. I see them dapping and hug them. It's amazing to see how well we adapt from the struggle. Born again from a life of sin, trapped in the gutter. My mind frame was to kill my own kind. Feeling inferior, waking up ready to die. Run with them killers, so it's just a matter of time. For why take your life or let you take mine? That's when I realized the slaves killing slaves while the white man live to get old. We in them graves, the shit got me feeling played. I opened the Bible, went through them records, found out we was royalty, a nation to be respected. But in this world we rejected, we hated for our complexion. Still fighting to get accepted. We hear the truth and reject it, but love is getting corrected. And all my niggas correct me. The commandments, the foundation we erected. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. Hey, hey.
Fuck that fucking job, it ain't no more applying. Fuck that fucking job, boy, I'm sick and I'm tired. Fuck that fucking job, all that bitching and crying. And I'm saying, fuck that fucking job, nigga. Fuck that fucking job, bitch. Fuck that fucking job, we gon' be rich tomorrow. Fuck that fucking job, it ain't no more applying. Fuck that fucking job, bitch, I done had enough. Fuck that fucking job, I'm watching everybody work. Fuck that fucking job, that little pay by the hour. Yeah, fuck that fucking job, my back hurting and I'm hungry. Yeah, fuck that fucking job, nigga, on soul. Yeah, caught between the two, get this money, go home. Yeah, all these people so, all these bitches, they messy. First day I came in, I bossed up on the bosses. And they promised nigga this, promised nigga that. Want my ass to work and bring that paper back. Sharp, where you been? I been taking the shit. Knowing damn well that I don't fucking sleep. Fuck that fucking job, we gon' be rich tomorrow. Fuck that fucking job, it ain't no more applying. Fuck that fucking job, boy, I'm sick and I'm tired. Fuck that fucking job, all that bitching and crying. And I'm saying, fuck that fucking job, nigga. Fuck that fucking job, bitch. Fuck that fucking job, we gon' be rich tomorrow. Fuck that fucking job, it ain't no more applying. Fuck that fucking job, me and bro, we just posted. Look him in the eye, shake my head disappointed. We gotta visualize, summarize, execute. All these people drop like fly, why the fuck we still here? Man, fuck that fucking job, when I pull up, I hate it. Yeah, fuck that fucking job, that's on all of their faces. Fuck that fucking job, man, I'm already lit. Man, I hear one thing, boy, you bound to get hit. Man, the bills cross a nigga's brain. Damn, that's how you keep a nigga damn a slave. Damn, money supposed to be a tool. Damn, for a purpose, what's your purpose for? Fuck that fucking job, we gon' be rich tomorrow. Fuck that fucking job, it ain't no more applying. Fuck that fucking job, boy, I'm sick and I'm tired. Fuck that fucking job, all that bitching and crying. And I'm saying, fuck that fucking job, nigga. Fuck that fucking job, bitch. Fuck that fucking job, we gon' be rich tomorrow. Fuck that fucking Shout out Boom Man now.
Yeah, nah.
Push up position.
I got big ring, you mad, get stained, work hard, then play, bad bitch, my taste, we vibe, we lay, you purple, you gay, delete tags, lil' fame, I won't walk, not the same, for wrong, these people, for wrong, I try to tell these motherfuckers time to time, for wrong, pussy ass, purple ass nigga, man, for wrong, make your born ass right, niggas better get their weight up, you little body bitch. Worry about a damn pay cut, you little body bitch. I ain't worried about none of these niggas, little body bitch. You that scare rag, cow ass little body bitch. Had to fuck around, get my rank up, you little body bitch. And I'm pouring up, yeah, young nigga, and I'ma take a sip. Yeah. All these niggas want down hate, but tell them zip it lip. You a dumb ass, scare ass boy, little body bitch. Damn. And I ain't worried about nothing, nigga, nah, I ain't worried about shit. I got more than one, so you know, nigga, don't reminisce. I spit flavors on they damn beats, niggas better catch a bitch. Never knew a goddamn man be scared to represent. But you a whole ass, dirty ass, little damn body ass nigga. Get body with the damn scripture with your little body ass nigga. Nigga, I'm a true priest, true line, nigga, true Zion ass nigga. And you a little boy, little bitch ass, little body ass nigga. I got big ring, you mad, get stained, work hard, then play. Bad bitch, my taste, we vibe, we lay, you purple, you gay, you leech ass, lil' fame, I won't walk, not the same, for wrong, I tell you, for wrong, get your shit together, for wrong, work. I'ma do this shit till I rock, you little body bitch. I'ma judge your ass like your pot, you little body bitch. And I'm smooth with it, y'all the zock, you little body bitch. And I switch, ain't gon' never thought, you little body bitch. And I'ma stay turning like the cars, you little body bitch. And I'm so cold like a bond, you little body bitch. And I'm a warrior like that Gabar, you little body bitch. And my aim like that a zock, you little body bitch. Need a princess part bar, you little body bitch. Or anyone down the slide, you little body bitch, yeah. I keep a couple straps in my ride, you little body bitch. Just in case anyone wanna die, cause I'm body bitch. I got big ring, you mad, get stained, work hard, then play, bad bitch, my taste, we vibe, we lay, we purple, we gay, you leech ass, lil' fame, I won't walk, not the same, for wrong. For wrong. Hey, what I tell you, nigga? What I say, that's it. Fuck wrong, nigga. Fuck wrong with you, pussy ass nigga.
All right, Shalom, Israel. Let's clap it up. All right. Hey, Shalom, Israel. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. This is the Monday night scripture breakdown class in Killeen, Texas, where we do what your Christian pastor can't do. We break down these scriptures, answer questions. You know what I mean? You got any questions or comments, go ahead and put them in the chat or in the room. You know what I mean? We've been teaching the truth to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans since 1969. You know what I mean? If you are not in the ISUPK, you are not in the truth, man. It's so important, especially right now for our brothers and sisters. Hey, Salaki Priest, you mind just tilting the camera down just a little bit? Just that's the one right there. Ain't the one, it's Salaki. But it's so important right now, you know what I mean, especially in the times that we in right now. It's especially important for us to come in the truth because our lives under our oppressor, you know what I mean? Our lives are under our oppressor are so excruciating right now in these times that we in, because they have taught us that we don't have any oppressors. They've convinced us, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, that we are free. You know what I mean? That we don't have any oppressor, even though you wake up every morning, you know what I mean? Every morning, work 80 hours a week at your job just to not have enough to take care of everything that you need. You know what I mean? You slaving day in and day out. You know what I mean? Trying to make sure you can feed your family. Trying to make sure you could, you know what I mean? Make sure you could take care of your responsibilities. I mean, even though you everything, your oppressor has made everything difficult for you. You know what I mean? Where they make it hard for you to get a job, make it hard for you to go to school, make it hard for you to I mean, do anything that you could set your mind to. They have made it hard for you to own property, to try to start your own business, be independent from your oppressor. Meanwhile, I mean, even just get general justice. You know what I mean? Like, they have made it hard for you to even say that your life matters.
Right.
Like, they have made every aspect of Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans' lives as difficult as they could possibly make it. Yet yet they have convinced us that we are not oppressed in this country, in this world. I mean, and that's why it's so important for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans right now. Baba Kasha, if I could get that Romans chapter 13 and verse 11 real quick. Like, just looking at the times we're in right now, like, we don't have. It's so important for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to come together under this one banner and realize that this is the home of the truth. Put our pride to the side, man. Put our pride to the side, and you know what I mean. Put our pride to the side and gather together as a nation. You know what I mean, where it all began. You know what I mean, so that we all can be. It's not about, you know what I mean, clout. You know what I mean, getting clout no more. Right. It's not about trying to prove who the baddest and who the you know what I mean, who the best leader and all of that. It's not about trying to be like, oh, I can do it better. All those, I'm talking to all those Christian Israelite groups out there and all these Christian churches who refuse to, you know what I mean, submit to who the Lord chose, who is Commander General Yohana, the leader of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. I mean, who, for whatever reason you are avoiding coming into the truth, you need to put that aside for your life's sake, man. Right. For your life's sake. We don't have time to be prideful anymore. Baba Kasha, if you don't mind, just reading that.
God, this is the book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse 11. And that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
It is not. It is now. It is high time for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to wake up out of this sleep, man. Your oppressor has lulled you to sleep, man. Your Christian pastor has lulled you to sleep. Them drugs that you can't seem to put down, that marijuana, which you don't think is a drug, you just think it's a plant that you just love to get high off of, man, that has lulled you to sleep, man. That alcoholism and whatever you got going on, man, that has lulled you to sleep, man. And it is time for us to wake up out of that sleep, man. I mean, we all like to talk about how woke we are. You know what I mean? It's become so popular over the past couple years to be woke, you know what I mean, as a black Hispanic and Native American man or woman or child. It's become popularized to be woke. Now it is time to show how woke you are, man. It's time to actually wake up to what's going on around you, man. And this is the place for it. And if you don't believe me, you know, if you don't believe me, put it to the test. I mean, find the nearest ISUPK closest to you, because you wasn't afraid to put all those other factions and denominations and religions and groups and gangs and sects and all those different cliques that we decided to try. We weren't afraid to give that a try. I mean, we tried Christianity, and even though we didn't learn a damn thing in that Christian church, we stuck it out, man. You know what I mean? We tried Kemet. You know what I mean? Watched every what's it called? So-called Egypt Egypt scholar,
Right.
Egyptologist scholar, all the chemist scholars fall because they were hypocrites and just as deviant and wicked as they are in the Christian church. We tried being a Muslim. We tried that. You know what I mean? We wasn't afraid to try that. Now we are urging you, for the sake of your lives, Black man, Hispanic man, and Native American man, to try the ISUPK, man. Come up in here, just come up in here and sit in these four walls for give it 90 days, man. Give it 90 days. Come up in here for 2 hours, a couple of hours out of your day, man, and ask your questions, man. Put us to the test, man. Put these priests and prophets to the test, man. Put these camp leaders to the test, and these captains and these generals to the test, man. Right. And let us show you that the brotherhood in here is unmatched, man. You have never seen any brotherhood like the brotherhood that you see up in here. You have never seen the scholars that you will see up in here anywhere else that you would go, man. This is the home of the truth, man. And it is high time. Read that again, Bob Gashad.
And that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
Right now, it is high time for us to wake up out of sleep. We don't have time to play with it anymore, man. Because look at the condition that we in, man. That wall over there is getting entirely too full, man, with names that we don't even remember. You know what I mean? All we know is that Black faces are filling, you know what I mean, the news as being either mass incarcerated or you know what I mean, either if they don't lose their lives at the hands of your oppressor or the police or you know what I mean, or the military, they're laying up in a hospital for however long it takes to recover from an attempt on their lives. Right. Man, every time we look up, we see you know what I mean, some oppressor with a gun, some sexual deviant with some sort of problem going up in our children's schools and shooting them up. And then your police who are supposed to be who are supposed to be serving it to the protecting, taking an oath to defend, you know what I mean, to put their life on the line, they hold themselves not accountable for you know what I mean, the lives of our children being lost. You know what I mean? That's the whole reason why they say that they excuse themselves for taking our lives in the first place, because their job is so dangerous that they can't take any chances. So they see us, you know what I mean, we sneeze a little too hard during a traffic stop and we liable to lose our lives, man. We raise our voices a little bit, or we got a little, you know what I mean, we look them in the eyes and we liable to lose our lives, man. All we got to do is, you know what I mean, it don't take much for us to almost lose our lives for that very reason. But when it's time so we excuse them for taking our lives because their lives because their job is so dangerous. But then when it's time for them to show why we excuse them taking our lives, then they cower out, right, to save their own lives, man. We can't give them both, man. Which brings me to my next point, man. The title of the class tonight is "Your Hell and Your Oppressor is on This Earth," man. Your Christian church has taught you that God loves everybody and Christ came to die for everybody, and we all should go and try to love one another and hold hands with one another and we all the same, right? We all bleed red, right? And then when you die, when you pass away, your body or your soul is either going to go up in the sky, you know what I mean, forever and ever, or you're going to go into the ground and be tormented and burned forever and ever and ever. And that's for all nations. That's what your Christian church has taught you. But that is such a sick and twisted concept. And I'm going to tell you why. Because since we think God loves everybody, and since we think that God loves everybody, and since we think that the devil, quote unquote, is underneath the ground tormenting you forever, then we have let our guard down. Let me get Ecclesiastes. Can't remember. Ecclesiasticus 7:7. Never trust thine enemy.
Okay.
Salakia. But because these lies have become foundational in Black, Hispanic, and Native American doctrine,
Right.
meaning the doctrine that your oppressor uses, rather, because that has become foundational in what Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans believe. We don't know who we don't know who our enemy is.
Right.
We don't even consider that we even have an enemy.
Right.
Because of that right there. That's why it's so sick and twisted that your Christian pastor has failed Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. They have failed us, man. They have put us in a deep sleep like we just read earlier, man. It's time to wake up out of that deep sleep, man. You got that, priest?
Yeah, this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy. For like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
See, if your Christian pastor really took his office and his position and his authority over this nation seriously, he would have taught you exactly what we just read out of the Bible.
Right.
Is that in the what book is that, Salakia?
Ecclesiasticus.
Ecclesiasticus. That's an apocrypha, right?
Right.
If your Christian pastor took his office over Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans seriously, then he would teach Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that right there. Because that is very important for us to understand, man. Read that again, Baba Kashah.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 10, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
No, it says never trust your enemy. Not the scriptures say never trust your enemy. But what has happened is we know it's no secret what has happened to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, during the Spanish Inquisition, during the transatlantic slave trade, and all these atrocities, that has happened to our Native American brothers on this very soil. The various slave trades that got our brothers over in the in the Caribbean and all of that. All over scattered all over the earth, man, serving our oppressor under all these other nations, man. It's no secret of all of those atrocities, and it's no secret of all the things that's happening to our brothers here today. How our brothers and sisters, got to endure the Darien Gap. Trying to escape persecution in their own countries. Due to lack of resources or lack of you name it. Right. And then they come to this country trying to seek some sort of some sort of refuge, like your oppressor promised them, like the leaders of America promised them, and then they're met with violence at the gate. Right. Even though this country was stolen from them, just like they were stolen from the North American Indians, man. Texas belongs to Mexico, man. I believe Arizona, California, all of Nevada. All of those all of those territories belong to Mexico, man. Those were this land belonged to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. But it's no secret that they stolen this land from us, and they've stolen our identities, and they beat our culture from us, man. It's no secret that they all the we're about to what's this May? We're about to go into June, which means we're about to all get ready to celebrate Juneteenth and remember all of the atrocities of that your oppressor has committed against you. How they the whole point of Juneteenth is in itself is rooted in evil, man. Right. Where your oppressor so-called freed the slaves, right? And it didn't reach Texas until I believe 2 or 3 years later. Right. That's the whole premise of Juneteenth, and we're about to go out there and celebrate Juneteenth and remember all these atrocities. So it's not no secret. It's not no secret. But the only problem is we want to say, read that again, Baba Kashan.
Never trust thine enemies.
See, the scriptures say never trust your enemy, but your Christian pastor says it's time to trust them now.
Right.
Don't live in the past, man. You can't keep living in the past, man. They did that. Okay, that happened back then, but none of us lived through slavery. None of us this, that, and the third. Our Christian pastors don't give a damn about our forefathers, our grandfathers, our great-grandfathers who still may be alive today. Right. Who can tell you vivid stories about what it was like to be a slave in America. what it was like to go through the civil rights movement and the you know what I mean, segregation and all of that. Who could tell you what it was like to see lynchings and live in be terrified to drive through sundown town. They can tell you vivid stories today. You know what I mean? Where this is happening less than 50, 60, 70 years ago.
Right.
They can tell you vivid stories about these things, man. But your Christian pastor tells you not to live in the past, man. That is today.
Right.
It says never trust your enemy. It's like the scriptures say never trust your enemy. But your Christian pastor will tell you to trust your enemy now. You shouldn't have trusted them then. You shouldn't trust them then, but you can trust them now, man. You can trust them now, all for $1, man, or all to satisfy their lust, or whatever the case is. But why shouldn't you trust your enemy? Go ahead and read on, Baba Kashad.
So as iron rusted, as iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
So just like iron will surely rust over time, just like that metal will surely oxidize over time, man, you're going to see rust on iron over a period of time. Your enemy is going to continue to be wicked to you, man.
Right.
That's what the scriptures say. But we've been taught that we don't have any enemies, man. And because your Christian pastor taught you that we don't have any enemies, we have become pacified and we have become sleep and we have become docile in this country, man, in this world. We've become docile. And now we hold it hand to hand with our enemy. And that's how we keep on ending up, you know what I mean, getting our lives taken. That's how we end up in these conditions, because your Christian pastor, man, he's the one to blame, man.
Right.
And because he should be telling you who your enemy is. But because he told you we don't have no enemy, we find ourselves swinging at the air, man. We find ourselves like, what's his name off of Boys in the Hood. You know what I mean? We swinging at the air. Right. You know what I mean? Because we don't know who. We're angry. We're angry at somebody because like we said, we're about to go into Juneteenth and celebrate Juneteenth and memorialize all the ways that we overcame oppression. But we're not going to acknowledge our oppressor.
Right.
We're going to acknowledge all the ways we were. You know what I mean? We're going to acknowledge our captivity, but we're not going to acknowledge our captors and hold our captors accountable, man. And we trying to let me get
if I could,
Baba Kashad.
Can I read the next verse?
Baba Kashad.
This is verse 11, and it's still talking about your enemy.
Come.
Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as this, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away. Now, I just want to bring that out, you know what I'm saying, Salaki, because the scripture before says, never trust your enemy. Like, they giving you, you know, Juneteenth or days to celebrate when we should have never been slaves in the first place.
Right.
Like, the very fact that you got a month dedicated to them doing something that's wrong, and then, you know, them apologizing for it is absolutely insane. Like, it's saying, like you said, the Christian pastors, they don't teach you that we got enemies. But the Bible says you should look at him with a looking glass, although, you know what I'm saying, like, you got to see straight through him, like, just like iron rusted. You can dip a rusty nail in some type of liquid to cover up the rust.
Right.
But if you wipe that liquid off and put that stain in there and that acrylic, it's going to show that it's still a rusty nail.
Right.
Like, this devil is never going to change, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we got to understand as Black States and Hispanics. So, like,
right. Now get out of hand. The water for reading on Shalakia. But what he said was absolutely correct. Like, they're trying to use these holidays to pacify you, to, like the scripture said, to wipe away that rust for a temporary time. And I want to, if I could add to your point, they didn't apologize. Right. Like, Juneteenth is not an apology.
Damn.
Like, it's like somebody going in your pockets and taking everything you got, and you like, you know what I mean? I ain't even got no money to, you know what I mean? They go in your pocket, take everything you got, take all your money, take your vehicle, and pull off. And you like, dang, I ain't got no money. I ain't got no money to get home. And then they throw some bus fare out the window. Damn. They throw some bus fare out the window and be like, dang, I always begging. Right. I gave you bus fare, right? Always begging. Pick yourself up off your bootstraps. You can't be living in the past.
Right.
They haven't even apologized. They won't apologize.
Right.
They won't apologize for what they've done to you, man. And that's exactly why it says never trust your enemy, man. Never trust your enemy. They're gonna say to you and say, "Oh, I didn't have slaves," and Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter, yeah. You know what I mean? They're gonna march through the streets with the signs because it's fun, you know what I mean, and pretend to be down with you. But they're not gonna apologize. They're not gonna hold themselves accountable. They're not gonna hold their fathers and their forefathers and their foremothers. They're not gonna hold themselves accountable. You know what I mean? Salakia, what is that? Lamentations chapter 17 or 4? 4 and 17? 4?
Yeah, 4 and 17.
Balkashah, if I could. But they're not even gonna apologize. They're just gonna give you something to pacify you for a temporary time, just to wipe away that rust for a temporary time. But I promise you, just like we've always seen, if you give them enough time, they're gonna reveal their wickedness to you.
Right.
If you give them enough, if you put them in the right situation, you know what I mean. Take take your pale-faced friend, right? You know what I mean? Take your oppressor friend who you don't look at as an oppressor, but take your friend, your stringy-haired friend, right? Because everybody like to keep them a white girl, a white man, you know what I mean, in they circle, right? Everybody keep one, right? But take them and put them in a situation, right? Or not put them in a situation, but you end up in a situation where it's you or them, where you get hired for a job versus them. And I promise you, they're going to do everything. They're not going to look at your oppression. They're not going to look at how disadvantaged you are as a Black or Hispanic or Native American man or woman. They're not going to look at your condition and consider you like I have. They're not going to look at themselves and be like, I have more opportunities in this captivity. Slakia. They're not going to look at themselves as I have more opportunities in this captivity. Let me go ahead and let me go ahead and surrender a shalom crisis. Let me go ahead and surrender myself in this you know what I mean, in this situation, so that my brother or sister can have an opportunity, because I know that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are disadvantaged compared to us. Talking about to the oppressor, you know what I mean. They're not going to look at themselves and be like, they're not going to yield themselves to you and be like, I got more opportunity. I'll just get the next opportunity because I know it's easier for me in this country. They're going to do everything in their power to climb over top of you, man. And then once you take that opportunity, which was maybe your last opportunity, man, that was your Hail Mary, right. You know what I mean? Where you urgently, you know what I mean, you desperately need this opportunity or whatever the case is, to get out of a situation that you're in, or try to stay afloat, or whatever the case is. And they're going to step over you anyway. Right. We're going to get to exactly how, you know what I mean, just how evil your oppressor really is here in a second. But point is, they're not going to consider you, you know what I mean? They're not going to look at you like oppressed people. They're not going to hold themselves accountable, man. Right. And they're never going to you know what I mean, be right to you, man. Right. Slacky, if you could.
God, this is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 17. As for us, our eyes have yet failed for our vain help.
Our eyes are failing for our vain help. We trying to fill up the voting booths and try to vote the next oppressor in. Right. You know what I mean? We switching, we constantly jumping from Democrat to Republican, to Democrat to neutral, to, you know what I mean? We jumping back and forth between parties, trying to lean on our oppressor and their government system to try to help us out of this condition that we're in. We constantly trying to, you know what I mean, join our oppressor's military, join our oppressor's police force, man. Join our oppressor's economic and you know what I mean, political system, and try to change things from inside out, as if you know what I mean, as if they would ever allow Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to change their systematic oppression they deliberately put on Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. Are you kidding, man? But we look into our oppressors, man. For read that from the top, Bubba Shot.
Con. As for us, our eyes have yet failed for our vain help.
As for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, our eyes have yet failed for our vain help, man. We look into our oppressors in vain. We looking to befriend our oppressors and hold hands and join with our oppressors and love everybody in vain, man, because that was never intended for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Baba Shah, go ahead and read on.
And our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
And in our watching, we have watched this nation. We are constantly begging our oppressor for a crumb, man. We're constantly, I know some brothers and sisters right now who are holding on hope, crossing their fingers, hoping Biden send out a stimulus check. You know how many times I done got an article or a notification or something like an email, talking about, oh, these stimmies coming out. Right. You got stimulus coming out for all Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans who this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. And it's about to be passed. And like, they are baiting you with money because they know that you are poor. They are baiting you with these things because they have stolen everything from you. And then they know that you are going to continue to look to them for vain help.
Right.
Because of the lies and the trick bag that they have played on Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And they have used the Christian church as that vessel, man. They have used their political system as that vessel. You know what I mean? They have used all these different avenues to beguile Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans as that vessel to keep us asleep, man. But we are watching for our oppressor to come to save us, man. The only thing that's going to save Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans out of this condition that we in is if we come and love one another. Baba Krishna, let me get Matthew chapter 6 and verse 24. Because this is the problem. Like I said before, your oppressor or your Christian pastor has failed to teach you that you have an enemy. So that got us swinging at the air, man. That got us swinging. As a matter of fact, we're not even swinging at the air because, your Christian pastor has taught you that you don't have an enemy there. We should love one another. And they have gassed you up with that music when that organ get to playing and them drums start to hitting and that keyboard get the riffing. You know what I mean? That's, and you get the filling up with all these emotions and all this what's the word? You get the all this excitement,
right?
When you hear that music and you hear them that music, you get that emotional response. You get filled with all this dopamine and Salaki, I done lost my damn train of thought. Time.
No. I just wanted to say real quick, just to go back to that point where you said about the stimulus, how Blacks and Hispanics, man, we so happy for a crumb. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that little 4,500, you know what I'm saying? Like we hoping for that. When meanwhile, that entire stimulus pack was about $2 trillion, right? In total. It says it's 756 billionaires in the U.S. today. If it's 756, that secure the poverty right there. You know what I'm saying? That secure the homelessness. They can give every Black and Hispanic $1 million and we'll be to wall. But the problem is they'll never give a damn about us. You know what I'm saying? So we hoping for something that we'll never get from our oppressors. It's like,
right. No, God, what you said was so heavy, man. And what the priest just said was so heavy. Like your oppressor is not going to help you.
Right.
Your oppressor is not going to help you because they're not going to help you compete with them.
Right.
So in every functioning society, there has to be somebody at the top and there has to be somebody at the bottom. And they have funneled us down at the bottom. And your oppressor runs everything. They run the world. You know what I mean? They have representation in the UN. They have a strong, mighty military. You know what I mean? They have a disproportionate amount of the wealth in this world, man. They are not about to share the wealth with you so that you can be a competition to them. So, like, since you had something,
I was asking him. So, along with the stimulus, does that count like Section 8 and food stamps and WIC?
That I'm not sure. It's heavy that you said that though, because they're looking at, we're looking for Because a lot of us can't even get that. A lot of us can't even get Section 8 WIC because them Section 8 list is long.
Right.
Like they got them year-long waiting lists. Same for WIC and food stamps. Them list is long where brothers and sisters who actually need it, they can't even get it. But they like they look at you like you're sitting there waiting on a stimulus that they're baiting you with and they're fishing you with, and they're like, what you need a stimulus for? I gave you food stamps. You know what I mean? You on that waiting list, right? Just wait 2 or 3 more years. That's what they do to us, man. So that's a heavy point you just brought out. But like none of that even means anything. All of that, just like the food stamps, the stimulus, the WIC, the all of those different things that we call benefits, those are just crumbs, man. Those are just things that they use to bait you. But they're not going to give you actual help and make you a competitor in their society and in their world. You know what I mean? Because again, in any society, there has to be a working class and there has to be a ruling class. And if they made you a competitor, you know what I mean? They saw what you would do if you were a competitor. You know what I mean? During once they took the physical chains off of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, within 50 years out of slavery, we had our first Black millionaires. You know what I mean? We had our own functioning societies. We had, you know what I mean, doctors, lawyers, educators, scientists, engineers. We had all of these things, man. So what we got to understand, Black, Hispanic, and Native American, is that we're not going to get any help from our oppressor, man. They're not going to help us become a competitor. Slaki, was you holding something?
Yeah. Now this is the book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 34. Take therefore no thought for the morrow.
It's a lot here. Let me did I say Matthew chapter 6, verse 20? Is that what that is?
34.
24. It's a lot here.
Verse 24. No man can serve 2 masters.
See, this is what you got to understand, man. You're trying to love everybody and trying to love everybody in the midst of oppressor, man. And you think that it's possible for us to all put it all behind us, put slavery behind us, put captivity and lynchings and all of that behind us and love your oppressor while you're oppressed in this country today, while you're disproportionately being locked up today, while you're disproportionately losing your lives at the hands of your oppressor today, you're trying to love your oppressor, man. What you got to realize is, read that again from the top, Baba Kashan.
No man can serve 2 masters.
No man can serve 2 masters. Now, some men can serve 2 masters. Now, we can do it. We can love our oppressors because we're better than them. That's what they teach us in the Christian church, right? We can't treat them with the same hatred as they treated us with, because we're better than them. So we can serve 2 masters. What did that say?
No man can serve 2 masters.
No, because we're such a loving people. We gotta be the bigger person, man. We gotta be the bigger person, man, because we just full of love, right? Read that again, Baba Chan.
No man can serve 2 masters.
No matter how special you think you are, Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, man. No matter how much better you are, you think you are over your oppressor, because you are better than your oppressor. Don't get me wrong, you are better than your oppressor, but you're not better to the point where you can love them and not hate your people, man. Right. Go ahead, read on. This is what's gonna happen.
For either he will hate the one and love the other.
If you try to love your oppressor and the oppressed, you're either going to hate one and love the other, man. Right. It is not, we can't love everybody, man. It is impossible for us to love everybody, especially in the condition that we're in today, where you're looking live and in color at your brothers and sisters being having their lives taken on the internet, man. Where you can't love everybody when live and in color today. You're afraid to get in a car behind the wheel at night in fear of your oppressor pulling you over and doing something heinous to you. Right. You're afraid to, you know what I mean? You're afraid to go to court. You're afraid to stand in front of that judge, right, wrong, or indifferent, because you know that you're gonna get some sort of some sort of evil some evil verdict ruled against you. You know what I mean? You're afraid to defend yourself against your oppressor because you know that right, wrong, or indifferent, you know that if your oppressor takes your life in your, whether you're defending yourself or whatever the case is, you know that your oppressor has more of a chance of getting off on that case than you do. You're afraid. So you can't say that you love everybody. You can't say that you're not oppressed in this country when you're about to walk out those doors and be terrified at the condition that you live in, man. It's time for us to wake up, man. Wake up. Is it any more on that?
Or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon.
You can't. The reason why your Christian pastor will teach Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that God loves everybody is because they serve mammon. They serve money. Right. And if they teach the truth according to this Bible, that God does not love everybody, you know what's going to happen? They're going to lose every they're going to lose every member that they got who is not a Black, Hispanic, and Native American. And then they're going to lose some Black, Hispanic, and Native American members, man. Right. Which means they're going to lose a big chunk of their contribution base, which means that they're not going to have that money coming in. So to keep that money rolling in, to keep as many hands in that collection plate as possible, they're going to tell you that God loves everybody, man, and that the law is done away with, and that God could be whoever you want, and all of this garbage because they serve mammon, man. Right. But if you try to follow that doctrine, try to love everybody, to try to love your oppressor, who is the devil the Bible speaks of, you are going to either love your oppressor. You know what always happens? We end up loving our oppressor, man, because they have the money, because we feel like they can have give us opportunities. Conference.
Now, I was just gonna hit on that point what you said, Priest Salakia. It said that no man can serve God and mammon. You serve the other. You can't serve. We look at the oppressor as the money. You know what I'm saying? So it's no way you can look. You know what I'm saying? There's no way you can serve the Most High and the oppressor at the same time. So like you got to choose one.
Right. And that's the crazy part about that. To that point is we have chosen one. Right. We've chosen. And it's been such a detriment to Black, Hispanic, and Native American communities, man, because we love our oppressor, and we try to include them and integrate them into our societies. When we want to invite them to the barbecue, I think a year or two ago they had called Elon Musk the first African American to purchase a social media giant. So they were trying to 2 years ago. They were trying to credit, or they did actually write Elon Musk in the history books as a African American, the misnomer that they call us. Right. You know what I mean? The ones in the ghettos. You know what I mean? The ones in the hoods, the one that's on the bottom of the society, the ones that you know what I mean? We're going to make all about Juneteenth. They're comparing Elon Musk and trying to give him the glory of being a Black man. This is what we do, man. And because we do these things, man, we end up hating one another, man. So we think that we love everybody. We think that we can love everybody. But what you're going to find is that you trying to love everybody, that hatred, which you rightfully should have, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, it's going to your brothers, man. It's going to your husbands. It's going to your wives, man. It's going to your brother. That's why we take each other's lives in the hoods, man. Not because, you know what I mean? Not because we just some animals like they try to portray us to be, but because they have put us in a predicament to where we are constantly in survival mode. And you know what I mean? They put us in a position where we're constantly in survival mode, and all we have access to, all we have in reach, within reach to us is another Black man, Hispanic man, or Native American man or woman or child. So we have all this anger from the oppression that we go through. When we go to our jobs and we're oppressed at our jobs, we go down that road and we're oppressed in and out of the commute. You know what I mean? We get our check every week or every 2 weeks. You know what I mean? We get our salaries and we're oppressed in that when we look at that bottom line. We're oppressed by the child support courts. You know what I mean? We're oppressed everywhere we turn, and then we come home to where we lay our heads at, and everybody around you got that same chip on their shoulder, man. Right. And that chip comes from your oppressor. But then you go to the Christian church that's on every corner in the hood, which is by design, and they teach you to love everybody, man. So you go in that Christian church with that chip on your shoulder, and then you come home, you know what I mean? You come home and you give all that hatred, all that energy to the people that you love, man, out of proximity. You can't serve two masters, man. You can't try to love your oppressor and try to love your own people, right? Because by design, we're designed to be poor and destitute, so that we constantly need money, so that we constantly need resources, so that we constantly need to beg our oppressors who has the resources and the money. You know what I mean? Who has control over the system that keeps us poor and keeps us docile, keeps us in this rat race. You know what I mean? So we end up by design loving our oppressor because they have the access.
Right.
And that hate is reserved for our brothers, man. You can't serve two masters, man. That's why it's important for us to understand that we have an enemy, and the hatred that you have for your enemy is righteous hatred, man. I'm not saying to go out there, you know what I mean, bust nobody's head open. But what I am saying is that you should, you know what I mean, know what to do, man. Know what to do with that hatred, man. And we could teach you right up in here, man, in the ISUPK, man. You know what I mean? We could teach you exactly what to do with that anger, man. Where you come together and no matter what, you love your people. You have mercy and understanding and compassion on your people, man. And you should not be afraid to tell your oppressor that he's the devil to his face, man.
Right.
And that's out of this Bible, man. That's what your Christian pastor should be teaching you. Let me get, if I could, let me get Isaiah real quick. Isaiah chapter 14. Oh, no. Slack it. Let's get 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 real quick. Chapter 2 and verse 3. See, what you got to understand is that this Bible was never intended to be used to make Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans join with all people. That was never the intention of this Bible, man. And as you read from the Old Testament, New Testament, and Apocrypha, it shows clearly who this Bible was addressed to.
Right.
From the beginning. It shows who this Bible was addressed to. But your Christian pastor, under your oppressor, has fooled Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that we should love everybody, and that this Bible is a book all about love, man. That's why we don't respect this Bible. That's why we don't respect this Bible. And as soon as we say anything about the Bible, as soon as we pull any scripture, or we try to teach brothers the truth according to this Bible, the first thing we out of instinct, the first thing that we do is reject it. Because we've been taught so many lies out of this Bible, and this Bible, you know what I mean? We've been taught so many lies from your Christian pastor where they pretend to use this Bible, and it's put a bad taste in our mouths to where now we think it's a oppressor's book. We think it's a white man's book. It's like it, priest.
No, it's heavy what you're bringing out because, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, they teach that God is all love, you know what I'm saying? And we just believe in that. But when did the narrative change? You know what I'm saying? Like, meaning our Christian pastors teach us God is all love and we should love everybody. Ain't this the same Bible that they say that they enslaved us with? So right. When did the narrative change to where it wasn't love back then? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we don't even think to try to hold them accountable to that because why? This evil doctrine that they push us like.
Right. Now, what you said was just heavy. Like it's like we gotta. That's just like, oh my God. Like it just. That's how you know that we are sick. You know what I mean? We are a sick people, like ill. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We are ill people and we need help. I mean, we need help trying to make sense of all of this, man. Right. And that's why, again, man, if you're not in the ISUPK, man, you should give this thing a try, man. Give it 90 days, man. Give it a try, man. Give it a try, just like you tried everything else, man. And find out that what's in this Bible is absolutely the truth, but what your Christian pastor taught you was the lie, man. What your Christian pastor taught you was the lie. Because they'll teach you that, you know what I mean, God loves everybody. It don't say that in the Bible. They'll teach you that, you know what I mean, Christ ain't had no color. And that there ain't no color, there ain't no nations in this Bible. That's not in the Bible. I mean, we could go into these records and show you. You know what I mean? Just like we're about to show you that your oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of. It ain't no red man under the ground. It ain't no damn you know what I mean, in hell ain't no condition. It ain't no place under the ground either where you burn forever. But it is a condition on this earth that you live in today, man. Like we know it, man. We know that this is a condition that we live. Hell is a condition on this earth, man. We go through hell every day, man.
Right.
But that's in these records, man. That's in these records.
I'm holding something.
Okay, Most High Christ.
This is the book of Second Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
See, there is a man of sin that's on this earth, man. See, your Christian pastor has taught Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that everything bad that happens, everything that happens to you that's bad or that's, unfortunate, it's the devil, and that's some spirit that's underground, teasing and poking at you and making your life hard, man. But we don't think to blame, we don't even think to look at the condition that we in. We don't even think to look at the nature of the condition that we in. Like, how do we end up here? How do we end up having to, stand and get on long waiting lists for WIC and food stamps? And, how do we end up in this position where we have to beg for our oppressor for stimulus checks that they probably will never give us? I think that time is over with. Salakia. I just want, just to let y'all know. That time for them stimmies is dead. You should bury that. But why is it that we can't do anything without calling on our oppressor first? Without calling on without getting permission from our oppressor. You can't even you can't do a damn thing. You can't even, good night. It's like I ain't gonna get too far off topic. But you can't do much of anything without calling on your oppressor first, man. We haven't even stopped to think why this is the condition that we in, man.
Right.
Lucky. Yeah, some.
It's like you started a question. Would you consider it wrong if the Israelite did not want to call the police in an emergency?
I wouldn't consider it wrong, and that's why we here. Like, just like Saran said yesterday, just like we know the number for 911,
right?
And we just like whenever we in a predicament, where it's a dangerous situation, we don't know what to do. Just like you call 911 and get help, you should be able to call the ISUPK just that quickly and get help, and you can up in here.
Right.
So it's not a wrong thing for you to not want to call the police in case of emergency. Now, it depends. Like sometimes, like if you call 911, you have to. Like sometimes you got to. In those specific situations, of course, you just go through the proper channels, call your camp leader. Get the proper guidance. But we should be able to. That's what the scriptures say too. Like we should be able to. We're going to be able to. We're going to have command over angels,
right? Where
we send a prayer up and so be it, and the angels move on our behalf of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So because the Lord has given us that power, shouldn't we be able to just deal with one another and deal with small domestic matters? You know what I mean? You got an argument maybe with you got an issue with your husband or an issue with your children or something like that. Shouldn't you be able to just go to the men of the Lord and we just hash that out without calling the police and potentially somebody ends up in jail or losing their life? You feel me? You had more?
Another question, Slacky. I don't want to get off top. I don't want to get you off topic.
You good? You good?
When you was talking about, there's going to be a point where with the angels, right?
Uh-huh.
Is there a scripture I could read for you?
Come. I got that. The water. But that's the whole point. Like the point of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the Most High intended for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to rule the entire earth. You understand that, right? That we're supposed to. The Lord has chosen us to be a special people above all nations, right? So with us being above all nations, we're supposed to be able to, to judge, like Adam did, judge what seasons to plant what crops, judge what animals to eat and what animals to, use as, labor, what animals are, what nation is good for this purpose and what nation is good for this purpose. We should be able to put the world in order because that's what the Most High set us. That's what the Most High chose us for. You know what I mean? You got that precept? Are you okay? No sweat. But let me see if I can find it. It's a lot here. But that's our hope. That's literally our purpose. That the Most High made us to be. That the Most High made us to be judges over the earth, man. So we should be, you know what I mean, we should be able to just judge these small matters. And you know what I mean, you know what I mean, when we send up a prayer, you know what I mean, when we send up a prayer, you know what I mean, and the Lord hears us, you know what I mean, the angels are the ones that carry out those orders.
Right.
You know what I mean? So well, once we get that precept, we're gonna break it down for you a little bit further. But that's in a nutshell, that's the whole point. Like, so if we're gonna be ruling over all these nations, of course, before we call our oppressor, because you know, once you call the police, they're gonna send either an oppressor or they're gonna send some whitewashed black or Hispanic man who are gonna treat you just like an oppressor would. You know what I mean? You look at the border patrol. Good night. It breaks my heart every time I see it. Where, you know what I mean, every time we see an influx of Hispanics coming over the border trying to gain some sort of, you know what I mean, some sort of refuge from their condition or where they're fleeing from, they're met with, you know what I mean, black Hispanic. It is crazy that most of them in the border patrol come from those situations. Right. Where they'll tell their story like, yeah, my parents or my grandparents, they were they fled over the border, and I grew up, you know what I mean, I was the first generation of born in America because my parents were you know what I mean, immigrants. And then what they decide to do is they grow up and they become of their father the devil, and then they decide to block other Hispanics from getting the same opportunity that they got. It's sad and it breaks my heart every time I see it. You was about to say something?
It's like you said, they didn't even weaponize CPS. You know, it was supposed to be to help the kids. Now it's like a weapon amongst our community. Right.
And it's crazy because like any situation like that, they're just like the police is shoot first, ask question last. You know what I mean? Just like, you know what I mean? That's how these so-called protective services is. You know what I mean? They separate your family first, and then they sort out all the details last. And you know what I mean? They quick to take your child from you. They quick to separate you from your family, but then the process for you to get back with your family it could take ages.
Right.
They say it's innocent until proven guilty, but they snatch your kids up quick, and you have to take months, maybe even years to prove your innocence. To get your kids back. By then, you don't miss like important years with your children.
Exactly. No, that's exactly right, sis. That's exactly right. And so, like, with that being said, like, it's not for that purpose, and that's wise for you to be skeptical and calling the police, because in the heat of the moment, like when you're angry, when you're frustrated, when you're scared, when whatever the case is, in the heat of the moment, especially in anger, you know what I mean? Because that's when we call the police on one another. When we're angry with one another, we just want, especially in domestic situations, like where CPS will get called, like where, you know, I ain't gonna get too personal, but where CPS will get called and the police will get called, you know what I mean? Things like that, where kids are calling the police on their parents, parents are calling the police on, or the mother is calling the police on the father, father on the mother, and all of that. Usually when we do that, we're angry and we just want that other person to hurt. Because we're angry, we're hurt, we're just getting our oppressor involved because we're angry. But you know what I mean? What happens then? Like you get separated, a daughter or a son gets separated from their mother, and now, you know what I mean, weeks from being separated from their family, they're crying about how they want to go home. You know what I mean? Same with a wife. You know what I mean? The wife calls the police on her husband, and then now your husband is hemmed up on the floor, biting the curb, And now the woman is crying hysterically, talking about let him up, don't do it, don't kill him, don't hurt him. You know what I mean? So like a lot of times when we call the police, we get the oppressor involved. It's from an emotional response.
That's why half the time when females be trying to get their man locked up because they mad at him momentarily, and then they the same ones there the next day to bail him out.
Right.
Like it don't make, now they just made money off y'all's argument.
Right. And that's the best case scenario.
Right.
Because a lot of times, like again, especially if they say, because you're gonna be crying, it's gonna be hysterical. I just want him gone. He just yelling, and I'm just such a they try to portray it as if it's just like they're just such a victim, and so the police already got it on their mind that this is a hostile situation. So when they arrive on the scene, 9 times out of 10, they already they showing up on the scene hot already.
Right.
So you know what I mean, if you leave a situation like that, count yourself, lucky, because 9 times out of 10, like that scene can always end in violence and in tragedy. But like you just to your point, that's why in those situations, instead of reacting emotional, and realizing that you had made a mistake later and it costing you your life or your loved one's life, it's best to just be hesitant to call the police. And call your brother first. You got that, Bruce?
Okay. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 6 and verse 2. Do ye know not that the saints shall judge the world?
Now the saints are repentant Israelites. They are Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You read that from the top, Baba John?
Okay. Do ye know not that the saints shall judge the world? And if the world shall be judged by you, are ye unworthy to judge the smallest matters?
You are supposed to judge the world, like we talked about earlier. We are supposed to be judges over the world. Like, what nation does this? What crops are being planted at this time? When we till a land, and when we decide not to till a land, to let it replenish itself, because that's in the scriptures as well. But your oppressor, they just use up the entire earth and just run it dry and destroy it. You know what I mean? But we're supposed to be judges over everything, from the biggest matters to the small matters. And with that being said, aren't we worthy to judge a small domestic issue? Like I can't something small that you might go through in a domestic household. What's up?
You was talking about how the white man just completely uses up the world and abuses it, right? Is that gluttony?
Con. It's I would say that's what's the word? An offshoot of gluttony. It's a little bit more than that. Like they are just greedy and filthy to begin with, and they weren't blessed with the knowledge and understanding of how to like this law wasn't given to them. These instructions in this Bible wasn't given to them. Like, I didn't know that there was even a law to like if you're tilling the land to, I think it's like you can till it for 7 years, and then for 7 years you got to let it rest. Right. I didn't even know that was in the Bible until I came in here and learned that. But and most Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans don't know that. But if that's the case, then how your oppressor, like their favorite food is pork. Their favorite thing, their favorite pastime is to do something diabolical. They are what's the word? I don't want to get kicked off the internet, but they are just disgusting and filthy bastards. Right. Like they are known, like if you look in their cultures and their society, like they are flaming LGBTQ, and they just good night. Like every good night. Like if you look at every holiday, or you look at every what's the word? Like you look at Greek mythology, you look at like Roman folklore, Roman history. They all of their stories involve either incest Can I say that online? It either involves incest, LGBTQ activity, violence, you know what I mean, domestic violence, you know what I mean, a brother slaying a father and sleeping with the mother,
Right.
or the brother slaying the brother, and it's or the it's something diabolical in all their history. Like that's the society that they live. That's the oppressor, the top oppressor, the so-called white man. Do you look at these other nations like good night? Look at the so-called Chinese man. You know what I mean? If they can good night, like if they just eat whatever they can, whatever is right there, whatever they're fast enough to catch and kill and eat, they're going to eat it. And they're gonna good night. Like, so I'm saying all of that to say, like, they don't have this law. So that's their nature to just be to not have this greed, yes, but it's also like this law wasn't even given to them. So they just don't have, they're not equipped with the instruction that we have. Right. It's like you have some more on that.
Oh, yeah.
It's
to
get
the
to
point.
the part.
Verse 3, know ye not that we shall judge angels?
You hear that, sis? Know ye not that we shall judge angels. Now, what does a judge do? Like you
Makes a verdict or a ruling.
Con. Absolutely, that's absolutely correct. Give it a hand. So in that, what does that mean? Read that again, Baba Kashan.
Con, know ye not that we shall judge angels?
What does that mean, sis?
It's like you said, I'm not gonna lie, I'm stuck on the know ye not.
So okay, so it's basically saying, don't you know? Like, don't you know that? Like,
we shall judge angels.
Yeah, don't you know that? That's what it's asking. Like, don't you know that we're gonna judge the angels? That's what it's saying. So with that, so what is? Well, I just kind of gave it to you. Yeah, so it's saying, don't you know that we're going to judge the angels? So to judge the angels part, what does that mean? Based on what you said about judges.
Based on what you said so far?
No, based on what you said about what judges do. Judge the angels. What does that mean?
I said verdict and rule.
Huh.
So.
What's a verdict?
Like a. Damn, I don't know how to dumb that word down.
Well, you got dictionary in your head.
You feel me?
And this is why you getting that. This is what we don't understand about judgment. Like we look at judgment like judgment is me saying pull your pants up or stop getting high. Right. That's what we look at as judgment, like a brother or sister correcting you. But this is what judgment is. Go ahead.
It says a decision, opinion, or judgment.
A what?
A decision or opinion.
A what?
A decision.
Say it louder.
Decision.
That's what that means. Right? Don't be shy. You know what I mean? What you read is absolutely correct, and that's what that means in that scripture. It says, "Know ye not, we're going to judge the angels." So what are we going to do?
I don't want to say tell them to do, but like
we're going to make decisions for what the angels do. Like we send a prayer up, and whatever comes from that prayer, that came from us. We asked the Most High for, like we you know what I mean? Like we do the prayers every Sabbath service. God, the water. We do this prayers every Sabbath service. We face the east and we say, let loose the terrorists. Right. And you know what I mean, come against the military and the army. We say all of these curses, and then you see you know what I mean, you see your all of these different things going on in the world where your oppressor or your oppressors is, or the world, all these other nations that oppress Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they are going into World War III, where they're going to have to fight one another and destroy one another, and we're not going to have to lift a finger if we separate ourselves. Go ahead.
So it's going to be the other nations, right? The angels, us, like when you have a shot. I'm confused.
What you mean? Like a hierarchy?
Right. That was probably a weird question.
No, I'm trying to understand.
Right now, you know, it's fucking, you know, then the other nations that are oppressing us, and then the angels who, I don't really want to put the angels in a rank because they report back. They're reporting. They're watching. You know.
I would say that they have a different. They have a different glory. Like they have a different job. You know what I mean? I would have to get with you know what I mean, the men above me to get you a precise answer on that one. But
if I come just read the precept right quick to what you just said.
about the
1 Corinthians 15:40. There is also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial, but the glory of a celestial is one, and the glory of a terrestrial is another. So the terrestrial is us on the earth. The celestial is the angels. You know what I'm saying? That can go back and forth to the Most High. So, like the priest just said, it's like it's a different glory, a different mission from what we can't see.
and if we get to you know what I mean, because it's heavy because like we could send up a prayer. You know what I mean? Let me get Matthew chapter 6 real quick and verse 10. We send up a prayer, and if it's the Lord's will, you know what I mean, He'll make it happen. Or if it's something, you know what I mean, you ask the Lord for, you know what I mean, you ask the Lord for something and it's righteous, you know what I mean, the angels will carry out the order. But also, you know what I mean, if you're not righteous, if you not follow the Lord's instructions, then them same angels who you can make decisions on what they do, them same angels can make a judgment on you as well at the command of the Most High.
Right.
What exactly does that look like?
You said, what does that look like?
Yeah, like what do you mean by that? If you could, so
What do you-
like would make a judgment on us, but like, and where does that go? What happens after that? Let's just say I was doing wrong, right? They made a judgment on me. They report that, and then punishment.
Okay.
That's
The judgment is exactly what we see today,
Right.
like the condition that we in. You know what I mean? The hell, the fact that you know what I mean, the fact that we have a oppressor over us in the first place, that is the Lord's judgment. You know what I mean? And the Lord don't leave His throne. He just gives orders, and the angels carry it out.
So if He gave the order to like kill someone, then that's who's gonna come do it? Angels.
Kind of. In a long story short, yeah, kind of. The angels. I mean, it's not gonna be. You know what I mean? It ain't gonna be. I don't want to make it spooky. It ain't gonna be no angel like what we think of in the Christian church that come down. Yeah, and just chop your head off. But like in the book of, I believe, Kings, or the Lord could put. You know what I mean? Like what was it? Ahab. He could put a, you know what I mean, like the Most High, or one of the angels was a lying spirit in the mouth of you know what I mean, Ahab's prophets, and that got him jammed up. So it could be,
Who's him? Like,
who?
who's him?
Ahab. So it was a ruler of, I can't remember exactly what his role was. I'll have to go back to that story. But long story short, when the Lord carries out his, when the angels carry out judgment for the Lord, it's not always like, you know what I mean, straight up. It could be, you know what I mean, the Lord put a spirit on, you know what I mean. It could be anything. You know what I mean? It could be anything. Like, let me think of an example. But it could be anything. Just when the Lord, if you know that you not right, you know what I mean, you out here breaking the laws, statutes and commandments, you're not doing what you got to do, and something happens, you know what I mean, it could come in the form of illness, it could come in the form of you know what I mean, tragedy. Right. You know what I mean, when you come home and everything, you know what I mean, everything that you love and care about is gone. You know what I mean? It could be something physically happening to you losing your life. But the only way to know that is if you know what I mean, if you know that you doing wrong, then you know that's obviously judgment.
Right.
But let me get that Matthew chapter 6 and verse 10. What's up? Are you good? You good?
Verse 10? 24.
Verse 10.
Oh, kind, I got you. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 10, chapter 6, and verse 10. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
So that's what it's talking about with the angels, right? So if you send a prayer up, and this is Christ telling us, the spirit that we should pray in, right? We praying for something and it's in the Lord's will, it'll happen. But and this goes back into the, this goes back right back into the topic where, your heaven or your hell is on this earth, man. Heaven is going to be, just like your heaven should be and is going to be on this earth. Once we get back right, once we come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, once we come back to our culture and separate from our oppressor, man. But that's only going to come if we, if we follow, if we separate and we acknowledge our oppressor as an enemy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it said thy, read that again, Bob Kashai.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done.
The Lord's will be done. The Lord never told us to come together and love everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? The Lord never told us to gather together all nations. He said, gather together, O nation not desired.
Right.
That's the Lord's will. Yeah, that's us. That's us. He told us to gather together. You know what I mean? Come back to, to love one another and separate. And he also told us to never trust our enemy. That's the Lord's will. The Lord's will is for us to rule and for your oppressors and all these other nations to serve you. That's the Lord's will. But if we we keep on following after this ass backwards doctrine that your Christian pastor, it's a lock you. That your Christian pastor spoon feeds Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, then that's not the Lord's will, man. That's not the Lord's will. Slacky, let me get, who's that? Slacky, let's go back to the 2 Thessalonians real quick. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3 real quick.
Come.
Verse 4, Slacky.
This is the book of Second Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 4.
So like you can read verse 3, so we do.
Verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there be a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
So before the day of the Lord, see, your Christian pastor is waiting on. Your Christian pastor will say they saved, right? Every Christian. You probably heard this before, but every Christian in that Christian church, they say, "Oh, I'm saved. I'm covered in the blood. I'm just waiting on Jesus to come take me home." And all of that, and this, that, and the third. But they are doing everything against what the Bible says. And the scripture that we just read just now says that day is not going to come. That day that your the so-called Christians are waiting on, that day isn't going to come unless there be a falling away first. Meaning we have to separate from our oppressor.
Right.
And what else did I say? In that man of sin?
That the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
That man of sin be revealed. See, your Christian pastor wants to bury the hatchet with our oppressor.
Right.
And try to act like we don't have an oppressor, that we're not going through any we're not going through any oppression. You ask any Christian pastor, they'll say we're not oppressed, we're not in hell, we're not in any captivity. That was back then. You know what I mean? So they want you to love everybody. But before Christ can come and handle business, we have to fall away from our oppressor, and that man of sin has to be revealed.
Right.
You got a question?
Kind of, sir. I don't see if I'm understanding this. The man of sin be revealed, right? Meaning the truth will come to light. And then the son of perdition, meaning damnation. Like,
Done.
the ones who have been found as sinners, like, are cursed.
No.
Damnation?
Son of perdition. The son of perdition is the oppressor. It's talking about your oppressor.
Oh.
They're the son of perdition. They are the son of. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it, and that's just remember that, the son of perdition, son of perdition. Don't forget that. We're gonna get into a couple scriptures that's going to describe exactly who that son of perdition is and why.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they've had Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in captivity for so long, and they have, you know what I mean? They were supposed. It's a what precept is there? Where they oppressed us, and when our time was, you know what I mean? When our basically when our we were punished, you know what I mean? When our time of receiving, you know what I mean? When our time to rule over us and punish us was over, they were cruel to us. They continued to step on us, and they continued to do us worse. So I can't remember the precept.
Right.
It might come to me, but they were cruel to us. You know what I mean? They took it. You know what I mean? They took it to the top. You know what I mean? Off the top ropes. Like, you know what I mean? It's imagine like you got a child and you like you know, back in the day in the neighborhood. What's up? Well, back in the day in the neighborhood, if your neighbor, you know what I mean, if your neighbor caught you out there, you know what I mean, acting a fool, they could give you a whooping. Right? That's how it was back in the day. Where you know what I mean, if your neighbor was cool with your peoples and they knew who your peoples was, and they knew that you was acting up, they could give you a whooping and then call your mom and be like, yeah, I had to whoop little Day. You know what I mean? That's how it was back in the day. But you know what I mean? Imagine if that same person, well, they came out with a you know what I mean, just beat the hell out of your child, and your child come in all broken and bruised, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean, you're gonna be upset. You'll be a little pissed off. That's what your oppressor has done. You know what I mean? Where, you know what I mean, they were supposed to be they were supposed to get us right. You know what I mean? They were supposed to be the nation of people who were the whooping stick of the Most High to get us right, so that we come back to Him, and then, you know what I mean, that's that.
Right.
But they took it off the top ropes where they good night. You had some priest?
Oh no, I got the precept.
Come on, Baba Shah.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35, and verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
Right. So, you know what I mean? This is what your oppressor does, man. Like, they don't give a damn about, you know what I mean? They don't give a damn about righteousness. They don't give a damn about us, you know what I mean, whether we get right with the Lord or not. Their goal is to be as, you know what I mean, their goal is to keep us at the bottom and to keep themselves on the top. So they're gonna do whatever they gotta do. They're gonna like, it's so many brothers and sisters trying to get, you know what I mean, become entrepreneurs. You know, that's the wave for right now. But you know what I mean, you see like for example, like brothers was, to take it from, you know what I mean, the industrial period, right? So brothers was trying to, back in the day, you could just go straight out of not even out of, you know, you could go straight out of school, go to work somewhere, and then work your way up in the company where you got a good you know what I mean, retirement plan. You making good money. You could work your way up to be a you know what I mean, higher in authority, things like that, and you could make sure you could feed your family with one job. Somebody at home with the kids and everybody, you know, it worked. But then they start saying, well, you ain't got enough education.
Right.
You ain't got enough education. So now we trying to instead of going straight to the workforce, we go to get jobs. You know what I mean? We go to college and we try to, you know what I mean, get that education that they said that we needed. And then we come out of college and we got 4-year, 8-year, 10-year degrees, and then they say, oh, well, you ain't got enough experience. And so point is, every time, so now we you know, we fast forward to today, brothers trying to get opportunities being entrepreneurs. Every opportunity that open up, they dry it up. So like to keep you oppressed, like they keep moving the goalposts every time we think we getting somewhere in this society. They move the goalposts to keep us, you know what I mean, dry, to keep us, you know what I mean, poor, keep us in a position where we have to, you know what I mean, take from another poor man or abuse another poor man, abuse our families, you know what I mean, to release that stress, you know what I mean, try to put something in our pockets. That's what your oppressor does, man. But they don't give a damn about righteousness, man.
Right.
But yeah, that's their mind state. You know what I mean? Where they in a time where, you know what I mean, where it's time for them to, you know what I mean, all right, let up on us. And they gonna hit the gas on us. Keep on oppressing. Hey, y'all stop, priest. But that's what they do to us. Where was we at?
Verse 4, 2 Thessalonians.
Baba Kashai. So that, remember that, son of perdition, right? Son of perdition.
Verse 4. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God.
So your oppressor, this son of perdition, he opposed and exalt himself above all that is called God. The most, you know what I mean, everything that's the most, you know what I mean, anything that's righteous, you know what I mean, the most high's children, the most high. He opposed the most high and try to exalt himself above who the most high chose. Go ahead, read on.
Or that is worshipped.
Uh-huh.
So that he as a God sitteth so that he as a God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God.
So what nation of people wants to what nation of people, you know what I mean, does this? What's up?
The white man, nigga.
Come on. Right. Absolutely. Like this can only describe the white man. You know what I mean? Your oppressor, who is the devil the Bible speaks of, man. This is why it says never trust your enemy. Everything that we talked about tonight, like, are all reasons why you should never trust your enemy. And they look at themselves like they have no respect for the Most High or the Most High's people, man. They don't give a damn about the Most High. They think that they can contest with the Most High. That's why we have to separate from our oppressor, because when it comes time for them to actually show what they made of and actually try to contest against Christ and them 200 million angels that crack that sky, they're going to. It's the scriptures say that the Lord is going to destroy this place within an hour, right? Which means a very short amount of time. So, you know what I mean, in their pride, they think that they can just band together and go against the Most High, but they're going to be destroyed for that. Now let's get Isaiah chapter 14 real quick, and see, let me get there with you. I think around verse 12, like Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 12.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning?
So this is what your Christian pastor uses to try to justify that they try to say that what's it called? That that you know what I mean, Satan is, you know what I mean, or so like not Satan, that the devil is some red man under the ground with a pitchfork tormenting, or he was cast out from, he was a disobedient angel that the Most High cast out of heaven. Right. You know what I mean? This is what they try to use. Right. But go ahead, read on.
How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?
Now they try to say that this is an angel, right? But we're going to find out exactly who this is talking about. So it says, we're starting to get some clues, right? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? Now, we're going to read in a second that this is talking about a man. And we're going to read in a second that this is talking about a man. But, so with that being said, what nation, or who is weakened the nation, man, but your oppressor? I mean, they done bombed, Hiroshima and Nagasaki into the Stone Age, where they was there was a military contender. You know what I mean? Now they over there, you know what I mean, Hello Kitty doing mukbangs, eating you know what I mean, what's it called? Squid and all of that raw. You know what I mean? They done weaken every single nation. You know what I mean? They done weaken the Germans. They done weaken the French. They done weaken the the Arabs. You know what I mean? They done weaken every single nation. They done weaken every single nation. You know what I mean? Go ahead, read on.
For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God.
Don't this sound like your oppressor? Well, he said, I will ascend into heaven, man. You know what I mean? And heaven, just like hell is a condition on this earth, heaven is a condition on this earth as well, man. Right. And they have put themselves above Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So they're in their heaven and we're in our hell, man. He said, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. The stars of God are the children of Israel.
Right.
Those are the stars of God, man. Go ahead, read on.
God. I will also sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
So they sit on top of everything, man. They sit on top of everything, man. They are the of all our oppressors, they are the top oppressor, man. Go ahead, read on.
I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
That's what we just read out of That's what we just read out of 2 Thessalonians, man. They ascend themselves. They exalt themselves above. They exalt themselves above all nations. They exalt themselves, especially over us, man. Now, again, your Christian pastor will have you believe that this is an angel, or this is some what's it called? Some disobedient angel that was cast out of heaven, right? So they reading all of this, thinking that this is some red man underground. Con.
Verse 16.
Oh, it's like in 15.
15. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell to the sides of the pit.
But this is what the prophet Isaiah is prophesying. Yet thou will be brought down to hell to the sides of the pit, meaning like they're going to be brought down from their heavenly state, and instead of us being on the bottom, they're going to be on the bottom, man. They're going to get brought down from their heavenly state, man. So much to the point where they're just, how can I say this? Like, you ever well, they're going to be brought down to, I'm gonna leave it at that. They're going to be brought down to a hellish condition.
Right.
Let me get verse 16 real quick. Or you was about to say something, Chris?
Oh.
Okay, no sweat. Hey, shalom to Christ. But go ahead, read on Bible chat.
Verse 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man?
Is this the angel?
Is this the man?
Is this the underground red devil?
Is this the man?
The devil is a man. And every description that we just read out of this Bible, it describes one nation of people. Your oppressor, the so-called white man.
Right.
The devil that's described in this Bible is a man. Go ahead, read on.
That made the earth to tremble, that did shake the kingdoms.
And this is the thing about your oppressor, who your Christian pastor tries to convince you to love, everybody. That this devil is a man, and not only is this devil a man, that son of perdition, he is destined for destruction, man. Because of how he treated the Lord's people, man. Right. He's destined for destruction, man, and he's gonna get that destruction. So much so to the point where we're gonna look at this devil. Where now we can't even imagine it right now. We can't even imagine the priest. You guys, Mike.
You know what I'm saying? When you say it's so heavy, man, because I had a conversation with, the brother earlier, man. You know what I'm saying? They're talking about when we was in slavery and how they used to, the oppressor take all women, all ribs, all wives, take them over to the house, to the head house, and have fun with them. And they get some of their friends, and you know what I'm saying? And put in the bed, and they have their fun that night. Then the next day, you first of all, you gotta see your rib go out and get, misused and abused, and what words you want to use with that? Right. You gotta watch your rib get tortured, man. Right. Then come as a man, that ain't no good feeling. Right. You know what I'm saying? Then you have to come and the state mess come out next day talking about, oh boy, brag about it.
Right.
And if you step up and say something, for one, you might die. For two, they might beat you, then sell your family all across the United States, man. Right. You know what I'm saying? This is why you say it's so heavy, man. These are wicked people, man. Right. And they so wicked, so powerful. They up there with the Most High. So the Most High is bringing them down to this day. That's why later on that chapter in the book of Isaiah, they say that they will bring down to a low state. They will kiss the boots of the children of slaves, and that's what they're doing right now to this day, man. Right. They're bringing down to a lower state because they deserve it, man. It's like
right in my head, and Salakia, priest. You, the way you just described that was that was so seasoned, man. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that, man. But man, like that's what he said was just so damn true. Salakia.
No, if I could, just to piggyback on what the priest said, man, like, and this that's a point to the sisters. Like they always say how we ain't never there for them, we don't protect them, we always trying to. Did you forget what we had to go through? You know what I'm saying? And we was you know, obviously not, you know, by choice or whatever, by force, we was still with y'all dealing with y'all problems then.
Right.
And the minute that the oppressor give you a little piece of bread or a crumb, and you feel like you want to usurp authority over the man, you know what I'm saying? Because he the same thing he's doing in the slave house, where he was having his friends running the train on you, it's the same thing he's doing. He's giving you that bread so you can leave your man and disrespect your man. So like,
right. Give him a hand. Don't you see the psychological trauma that we've gone through in this nation? Don't you see that the reason why we love our oppressor is because of that psychological trauma? Like what the priest just brought out. Both the priests just brought out. Like the reason why we feel like the reason why we like interracial relationships is because of that. Because your oppressor forced himself on our women. Now all our women want is oppressors as husbands. Because our oppressors force themselves on our men and women. We choose alternative lifestyles. They forced alternative lifestyles on us, and we choose it to this day because of that psychological trauma. And because we had to bend to their will just to keep our families together, just to keep our lives, because like the priest just said, once they got done having fun with your wife and they sent them back to you and bragged about how they used your wife and passed her around, you know what I mean? We couldn't do anything about it because the ones who did, like Nat Turner, you know what I mean, the ones who did rise up, they castrated that man and made him eat his own genitalia and say that it was delicious, man. That's what they did to us. Like, they were diabolical. That's the type of thing. And now, fast forward today, again, like the brother said, they will take our wives and, you know what I mean, pass them around from slave master to slave master and have fun with them for the night. And now that's the type of sex that we prefer. That's the type of sex our women prefer, where they get tossed around. You know what I mean? I ain't as seasoned as the priest. Well, I'm gonna leave it right there. But they get tossed around. That's the sex that they prefer. You know what I mean? Again, our oppressor forced LGBTQ on us, and now that's the sex that we prefer. You know what I mean? They forced interracial sex on us, and now that's the relationships that we prefer. You know what I mean? It's because of this psychological trauma and because your oppressor is the devil. He is the man. Where we at? He is the man that is made the go ahead.
Salaki, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake the kingdom?
He's the man. Your oppressor is the man that made the earth to tremble. It ain't no devil under the ground tormenting the earth. It's a man on this earth that made the earth to tremble, man. That's why we in the condition we are today. Lucky. I'm tripping. No, you straight. Do your thing.
And to y'all point, to y'all point, man, y'all saying so heavy, man. And like, our sisters, man, like it really pay a toll on our sisters. Because now they think they can get any man, they can, be done with you and get another man that can be better than you.
Right.
So now they got 10 bodies on them, man.
Right.
Why? Because the idea that what the oppressors pushed in America,
right,
that you can be, a woman can have how many partners? That's her right.
Right.
That's not the Most High right.
Right.
And when you say who shake the kingdoms, they trying to shake Iraq. You know what I'm saying? Remember when what they call priests when they got back in power? The Taliban. Right. And the women, they was mad because they couldn't drive.
Right.
Who put in their mind that changed their culture that a woman should drive? The oppressor, man, shaping their kingdom into their image. You know what I'm saying? It's diabolical, man, because you messing up everybody else's culture, man. And that's not what the Lord. The Lord separated us for a reason, and He has the most beautiful people on top, man. You know what I'm saying? The black, Hispanic, Native Americans who are the Israelites, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Damn right. You might want to keep that mic, Chris.
oh no, I'm through that.
Okay, no, hey, go ahead though. What he said was the damn truth, man. The devil that we think is underground tormenting the nations, you know what I mean, is not underground. The devil is in your face, man. The devil is the enemy that you shouldn't trust, that we read in Ecclesiasticus. The enemy is that son of perdition, man. That man of sin that needs to be revealed, man. That we won't allow, that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans won't allow to be revealed because of the damn Christian church trying to get you to love every damn body. And it's the man that's going to be, that we're going to look at narrowly, meaning we're going to look at them sideways, like, where now you can't even fathom your oppressor not being in rulership right now. You can't even fathom it, where your oppressor is, on the bottom. You can't even fathom being a competitor to your oppressor. But there's going to come a time where your oppressor is going to be nothing. There's going to be no more of your oppressor. Like, not a single Edomite, which is the biblical name of the so-called white people. You know what I mean? There's not going to be a single one left to oppress anybody or destroy anybody, man. That is what we're reading about right here. It says we're going to look at them narrowly and be like, is this the man that made the nations tremble, that shook the nations and made the earth to tremble? Him? Like, him? That's how we're going to look at your oppressor, man. So it's such an evil thing for you to want to join to your oppressor. So, like, Priest, you was about to say something? No. Okay, no sweat. And let me get verse 21 real quick.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, and verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children.
Prepare what?
Prepare slaughter for his children.
Prepare slaughter for his children, that man of sin. You know what I mean? Your oppressor, the white man who is the devil, the Bible speaks of. Prepare slaughter. That's what the Bible says. Go ahead, read on.
For the iniquity of their fathers.
For the iniquity of their father. But nah, I didn't. That's the favorite excuse of your oppressor, right? Oh, I didn't have anybody in slavery. Oh, that was back then. What are they going to prepare slaughter for?
For the iniquity of their fathers.
But no, I didn't have nobody in slavery. What did that say?
For the iniquity of their fathers.
But no, that was them.
For the iniquity of their fathers.
For the iniquity of your fathers. You're going to pay for the crimes of your fathers because you reap the benefits of the crime of your fathers.
Right.
That's why your oppressor is going to change, man.
Right.
That's why your oppressor is going to be no more on this earth, man. That's why your oppressor is going to be destroyed by the hand of the Most High. Thus saith the Lord, man.
Right.
That's why, for the sake of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Go ahead, read on. Well, why are they going to be destroyed?
That they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
Because what happens when the oppressor fills the face of the world with cities? What happens when they rise up over all the nations, man? They cause the earth to mourn, man. The scriptures say when the earth is, when the wicked is in rulership, the earth mourns, man. Right. And that's what the earth is doing right now, man. They shake the nations to where can't no nation have no rest without your oppressor having a hand in their affairs, man, and oppressing them. They don't oppress them like they oppress us, you know what I mean? But they oppress them, you know what I mean? Where they like every nation on this earth is sick of the goddamn the so-called white man.
Right.
Every single nation. And the scripture just say, prepare slaughter for the iniquity of their fathers, that they don't rise or possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities, man. Because when they do that, they make the earth tremble. Let me get verse 1 real quick, and then we're going to wrap it up. Salaki. Good.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
Now, this is why you should separate from your oppressor, man, because this is what the Most High has in store for you, man. The Lord will have mercy on Jacob. Jacob is the progenitor of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the forefathers of the 12 tribes of Israel. This says that the Most High will have mercy on Jacob and yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, man. You're not gonna. The Lord is going to separate you. In the midst of your captivity, the Lord is, while you're trying to love everybody, the Lord has intentions on separating you from all these other nations, especially your oppressor who is stepping on you, who your oppressor, the chief oppressor, who your Christian pastor wants you to love the most. You're the most high is going to separate you from him. That man that you want to love so much, that nation of people, the so-called white man that you want to love so much, he's going to separate you and set you in your own land.
Right.
And the strangers shall be joined with them. These strange nations will be joined with them. And they'll cleave to the house of Israel, or the house of Jacob, which is Israel, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Go ahead, read verse 2.
And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them.
Shall what?
Shall possess them.
Shall love them.
Shall possess them.
Shall have equality with them.
Shall possess them.
You know what it means when it says the nation of Israel shall possess them? You know what possess means? Anybody in the chat? Well, there ain't nobody in the chat. But you know what it means to possess? It means to own.
Right.
If you have a possession, that means that is yours. You own it, and you can do whatever you please with it, man. But that's what that means, man. You're going to possess these other nations, especially your the top oppressor, man, who is the devil the Bible speaks of. Go ahead, read on.
In the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
So in that land of the Lord that the Lord is going to separate you from and set you in, you're going to possess your oppressor as servants and handmaids, man. That is justice. Right. That is justice right there. Go ahead, read on.
And they should take them captives, whose captives they were.
Who did the Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans belong to as captives?
Right.
We belong to our oppressor.
Right.
And once the Most High, sets things right, once we separate from our oppressor, man, he's going to make us, we're going to possess these other nations as captives because we were their captives. We're going to possess our oppressors because they oppress us. They possessed us, man, as slaves, as servants and handmaids. And read on.
Who captive they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
We're going to rule over our oppressors. Verse 3 real quick.
And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow.
Give you what?
Shall give thee rest from thy sorrow.
That's the reason why. That's the reason why we we lean on our oppressor and we so violent to one another and we love our oppressor because we are sorrowful, man, for what happened to our people, for what the condition that we live in every day, for the memories that we have, for the things that we got to read in textbooks, the things that we got to we're gonna remember during Juneteenth. We're you know what I mean? We're sorrowful for those things, for the buck breaking, for the lynching, the robbing, the unaliving, looking on the police brutality, the sundown towns, all of those different things. We're sorrowful for that, man. And the Most High is going to give us rest from our sorrow. The only way for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to have rest from their sorrows is to separate from your oppressor and to rule over your oppressor rightfully. Thus saith the Lord, man. Go ahead, read on.
And from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve.
The reason why we're fearful, the reason why you're afraid of them blue and red lights coming up behind you is because your oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of, man.
That's right.
And the only way that we're gonna have rest for our souls is for us to accept that and separate from our oppressor. And from the hard bondage where we were made to serve, man. That's justice, man. That is justice, man. But we gonna have to pick this up next week. You know what I mean? With that, we gonna end it right there. We're gonna say I imagine, which means to stand. We're gonna give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Individual, Madhu Shabbat, I imagine, Barak, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Yad Yamatah, Sar, which means turn. We'll turn face the sister, give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Individual, Madhu Shabbat, I imagine, Barak, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Yad Yamatah is this.